high part of the twin span. Catching beautiful fish like this trout right here on the tiger bait with a 3/8. I'll go over some tips and techniques of fishing a twin span and just why we're on this bridge right now. All right, the reason we came over here to the twin span, started off on the trestle again this morning. As the Lake Pontchartrain season peaks out, the trestle's gonna get more and more boats. And as the boat pressure gets pretty thick, you gotta get away from them. Especially if you wanna throw plastic, find you some areas that are holding fish and you wanna be fishing. Oh, I just missed it. You wanna be fishing for some fish that haven't been getting beat on day in and day out. We're using a tiger bait. Look, it's got my pants pulled down right there as I just missed one. Just went with the tiger bait, one of my favorite colors. Happen to have some laying in the tackle box. No real rhyme or reason why we chose that one today, but just one of my favorite colors. Water clarity is about a 7 on a scale of 1 to 10. Anytime you fish the twin span, the technique's pretty similar to the trestle. You can catch them on the poles. The actual little square poles that support the bridge all the way down. Caught some nice redfish doing that earlier. Right now we found little schools of fish that are ganging up behind these big square boulders that support the high rise of the bridge. And these are some really big current breaks. We got a big hard falling tide right now, and what's happening is that current is getting broken up by the those big boulders, and those fish are hiding behind it and ambushing the little fin fish that come through. It's about 10 to 12 foot deep here. Same Pontchartrain pop. Just want to dribble it back to the boat. Try to pinpoint how tight these fish are being to each boulder. We've had some monumental years catching drum on these big concrete boulders. As you can see in some of our previous DockSide TVs, this used to be a big drum haven right here on the high rise. I decided to check it today, and just to take a peek, and sure enough, the specks caught some reds, trout. I'm sorry, flounder. Oh, there was a fish right there. I've been pretty surprised by the amount of flounder we've been catching in the lake here lately. This has been the best flounder spring I can remember in a long time, which isn't saying much, as they've been pretty non-existent. Well, one of the things you have to do when this lake gets really crowded is you have to be able to go try a lot of different areas. Get away from the boat pressure, man. If you're fishing an area that's got tons of boats and nobody's catching fish, a lot of times it's just because the boat pressure has really just beat those fish down. Like right here, got one on just a regular square pole. Getting a few small ones mixed in too, but nevertheless, another keeper. Like I said before, this is the little square poles right here, and they're using that to ambush bait fish too, along with the big concrete boulders. Got a big falling tide, and I'm just catching them right off the ends of whether it's the square poles or the big boulders. And the beauty part about right here is I've yet to see a boat on the bridge all day. And there was boats everywhere on the trestle. Now this bridge is a little bit more tricky to dial a fish in. Maybe, definitely not as consistent, but whenever it peaks out and there's tons of fish on that bridge, There's always some leftovers on the other two bridges, and you can just get away from the boats and avoid boat pressure, which is a lot of times the key to success out here. I'm finding these fish are wanting to be well off the bridge. We've shot some episodes on the twin span before where the big mule trout were buried up in those poles, but usually when it's the regular size fish, they come off the poles a little bit, kind of treat it. It's very similar to trestle where you just kind of throw at the bridge and work it all the way out. There we go. Nice fish right there. Got a whole floor full of them. We're starting to do some work to them on that tiger bait. Baby, loading them up. There he is, as soon as it hit the bottom. As soon as it hit the bottom. Respect. Right there, baby. That's what we're looking for. Finding fish away from the boat traffic. I hope you enjoyed this episode of DockSide TV. Avoiding the crowds, using the tiger bait, matrix shad on the trusty twin span. Make sure to watch all of our DockSide TV episodes, Fishing the Twin Span. We have several. And make sure to subscribe to our monthly bait box if you want to get your hands on some tiger baits, some golden-eye jig heads, and try your hand on fishing the I-10 bridge that crosses from Slidell to New Orleans, Louisiana. Till next time, good fishing.